Leo, let me ask you something honest. Has someone around you been acting a little too nice lately? Smiling in your face, but something in your gut says they're hiding something? Because what I'm about to tell you, it's not just a reading. It's a warning. And it's coming at a moment when your entire path is shifting. You didn't click this video by accident. In fact, I don't believe in accidents at all. If you're watching this, it means your soul already picked up on something that your conscious mind is just now catching up to. There's movement around you, a betrayal in motion. And not just any betrayal. It's close, it's calculated, and it's time to strike when you're most vulnerable, possibly in the next 24 hours. But here's the part most people miss. When betrayal shows up, abundance often isn't far behind. Yes, you heard that right. At the same time someone is trying to knock you off course, there is also a large financial opportunity or unexpected blessing heading straight toward you. A divine balancing act. And that's not just tarot. That's spiritual law. Now, I don't say this to scare you. I say this so you can act. Because when Spirit sends a message this loud in dreams, in repeating numbers, in people you haven't heard from in ages suddenly resurfacing, it's not trying to make you paranoid. It's trying to make you ready. And Leo, I know you. You don't crumble under pressure. You burn brighter. Someone in your circle is smiling while plotting. And for most signs, that would be enough to break them. But you? You're ruled by the sun. You're not here to dim. You're here to expose. This person thinks they know your weaknesses because you trusted them. But what they don't know is, you've evolved. You've become spiritually equipped. You've built something inside that no one can touch. Now, let me tell you why this message came through today, not just to warn you about the betrayal but to prepare you for the breakthrough. There's money in motion. A conversation, a contract, an investment, maybe even a past opportunity circling back. But it can only land in your life if your energy is clean, protected, and undistracted. And that's why the betrayal is being revealed now, to clear space. You're not being punished. You're being aligned. I want you to comment below and say, I accept the truth and I choose to protect my energy. Say it like you mean it. Type it like it's a contract with the universe. Because it is. I know some of you might be feeling the stress. Maybe your sleep's off. You're feeling tension around your chest. Little intuitive nudges, tiny moments of déjà vu. That's your spirit team, your ancestors, your higher self pulling you toward clarity. I'm just the messenger. The guide. You already know the truth. I'm just helping you name it. So take a breath with me. Let go of fear. Let go of what ifs. And trust that the same divine intelligence that showed you this video is the same force orchestrating your protection, your financial elevation, and your emotional release. Before we go deeper, I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up for your own healing. Every like, every comment, every subscriber who joins this family of eternal mindfulness, it's not just support for the channel, it's a declaration that you are ready for the truth and ready to rise. Stay with me until the end of this video, Leo. What we're about to uncover, it's going to shift everything. This isn't just a tarot reading, it's a spiritual intervention. And I promise you, the clarity that's coming next is exactly what your soul has been asking for. Now tell me what brought you here today. Leo, when you were born under the sign of the sun, you were given a light that naturally draws attention, not just admiration, but sometimes resistance too. Your presence doesn't just walk into a room, it fills it. Your joy doesn't whisper, it radiates. And while that makes you magnetic to people who need warmth, it also makes you visible to those who haven't yet made peace with their own shadows. Not everyone can handle what you carry effortlessly. What I'm seeing in your energy right now isn't just a subtle shift, it's a surge. And whenever that happens, people around you start reacting. Some with awe, others with quiet envy. There's someone who once clapped for you when you succeeded, someone who maybe even leaned on you when they were weak, and yet, in the stillness of their own insecurity, they've begun seeing your light not as a gift, but as a threat. This isn't an enemy from afar. This is someone who knows you. Someone you trusted. I know how that lands. It stings, because betrayal always wears a familiar face. You might even feel guilty for sensing it, for suspecting someone you care about. But I want you to let go of that. Trusting someone doesn't mean you were wrong. It means you were brave. And that courage, Leo, is still inside you, but now, it's evolving into discernment. This chapter isn't about punishing yourself for opening up. It's about understanding that some people only stay close to the flame until they can no longer handle the heat. It's not your fault that your shine revealed their discomfort. It's not your responsibility to dim so that others can remain unbothered. Some souls just aren't ready for the level you're ascending to. That's okay. But it also means you need to pay attention. I'm seeing signs that this person has started to turn what they know about you into leverage. Maybe it's private details, or ideas you once shared in confidence. Maybe it's subtle comments they've been making about you, quiet distortions meant to seed doubt in others. It's not dramatic yet, but the undercurrent is real. And it's building. Still, don't let fear settle in. Let clarity rise instead. Because what feels like sabotage is actually divine protection unfolding in disguise. Sometimes the universe lets people expose themselves not to destroy your peace, but to remove those who can no longer walk with you into the next level. This isn't an attack. This is a cleanse. If you felt a tightness in your chest lately, trouble sleeping, or an odd discomfort when you're near a certain person, your body has already picked up what your heart is just now naming. That's not paranoia, that's intuition. And in this moment, it's your most reliable guide. It reminds me of something simple yet powerful. In the Bible, when Judas betrayed Jesus, it wasn't from across the city, it was over dinner. The closer the betrayal, the more sacred the lesson. And yet, even in that story, betrayal did not stop destiny. In fact, it triggered it. Sometimes betrayal isn't a detour from your purpose, it's the path to it. So if someone's actions are revealing cracks, don't rush to cover them up. Let them show. Let the light in. This is your chance to see clearly. This is your chance to choose yourself, fully, even if it means releasing someone you once held close. If your light is making someone uncomfortable, it's not your job to shrink. It's your job to keep shining. To stay rooted in truth. To walk boldly, even when trust has been shaken. And if what I'm saying resonates, if you felt the subtle shifts in your gut or your dreams, comment below. Say, I am ready to face the truth, and I am divinely protected. Say it not for me but for your own alignment. For your clarity. For your next chapter. You were not born to play small, Leo. You were born to illuminate. And this moment? It's just one more spark that will lead you home to your power. In moments like these, when everything feels a little uncertain and your instincts start whispering louder than usual, that's when real awareness begins. Leo, you're entering a window of time that carries a different kind of weight, not heavy in the sense of fear, but heavy in significance. What's coming isn't random. It's timed. It's precise. And the universe, in all its subtlety, is already dropping signals around you. Most people call them coincidences. But you know better. You may notice a phrase in a conversation that seems oddly familiar, like someone accidentally speaks a truth you weren't supposed to hear. Or a message shows up, maybe a text, maybe an offhand comment, maybe even a name that pulls up an emotion you thought you buried. That's not just your memory playing tricks. That's the first sign. Then come the numbers. Repeated, almost rhythmic. 1111, 222. 333, they show up when you're checking your phone, scrolling through a receipt, or walking past a random license plate. And it might feel silly at first, but then your heart starts racing a little. You get chills. And something in you says, this means something. Because it does. Numbers like these are frequency markers. They're your soul's way of recognizing you're in alignment with something bigger, something real. And then, for some of you, the third sign will come at night. A dream that doesn't feel like a dream. A person shows up but you can't fully see their face. Their presence is heavy, familiar. Maybe they don't speak. Maybe they don't need to. But when you wake, you'll remember a detail. A color. A word. A symbol. And it will stay with you. Don't ignore that. Write it down. Those moments are pieces of a puzzle your intuition is putting together, not just for clarity, but for protection. This is not about fear. It's about awareness. It's not a curse. It's preparation. You're not being tested to break, you're being prepared to rise. There's a difference between paranoia and perception. Paranoia feeds on fear. Perception is guided by truth. And right now, you're being asked to pay attention, not out of fear but because clarity will give you power. You have a right to be prepared. You have a right to know who's truly walking with you. And who's just been walking behind you, collecting what you've dropped. These signals are the way your higher awareness tells you, look closer. Listen deeper. Something's shifting. You're not crazy. You're tuned in. And here's something else I need you to know: no matter how quiet your path has felt lately, you've never been alone in this. Even when no one checks in, even when the room feels empty, your inner knowing, that soft, persistent whisper, has been on duty. Protecting. Alerting. Preparing. Some might call that intuition. Others call it alignment. I just call it wisdom earned through experience. The point is, your body already knows what your mind is just beginning to uncover. That sensation in your chest? That unease in the pit of your stomach? Those aren't side effects of stress. They're signals. And if you're seeing this message now, it's because you're being invited to trust them. So don't brush off the patterns. Don't silence the dreams. Don't scroll past the numbers. You don't need to understand them all at once. You just need to honor them. If this resonates with something you've felt lately, I invite you to pause and comment below. Write, "I receive the signs and take action in the light." Not for algorithm's sake, but as a personal anchor, a way to claim your readiness and respond to what's already been unfolding around you. Because the moment you acknowledge what's real, the rest starts to unfold in ways you could never imagine. There's something quietly unsettling about realizing that not all support is sincere. And yet, Leo, here you are, intuitive enough to feel the shift, brave enough to face it, and grounded enough to stand through the storm. What we're stepping into now isn't just a message about betrayal. It's a deeper truth, that sometimes, the people we once let closest to our hearts become the ones most threatened by our growth. The energy surrounding you right now is clear, even if the people around you are not. What the tarot revealed wasn't dramatic, it was intimate. It showed a familiar presence, someone whose face you might see often, whose voice you've trusted before. This isn't a loud enemy. It's a quiet one. The kind that doesn't confront, they calculate. The kind who listens when you speak about your dreams, then uses that insight not to lift you, but to anchor you. Not because you did anything wrong, but because your evolution triggers their fear of staying the same. That's the hard part, isn't it? Recognizing that someone you once leaned on, someone you may have cried with or celebrated beside, could be silently rooting against you. Not out of pure malice, but out of scarcity. From a place of unhealed lack. Because every time you shine a little brighter, every time you move one step closer to your purpose, they're reminded of their own stuckness. Your momentum becomes their mirror. And instead of seeing it as inspiration, they see it as competition. But Leo, what they forgot is this: your light doesn't dim for anyone. It illuminates. It reveals. And what's being revealed now through your rising discomfort, through subtle changes in how certain people act around you, is the truth. Not a truth meant to hurt, but a truth meant to free you. People like this don't destroy with one big move. They chip away in whispers. Casting doubt behind your back. Planting quiet suspicion in others. Smiling to your face and then twisting your words in private. And yet, through all that, they underestimate one thing: your alignment. They mistake your kindness for weakness. But your kindness is a choice. Your openness is sacred. And now, it's time to protect it. You might be noticing strange conversations lately. Maybe someone close has started acting more distant, or too involved. Maybe you sense hesitation in people who used to be solid. That's not paranoia. That's intuition speaking in the quiet. And when you listen to it, you realign with your own power. See, what this person doesn't understand is that you were never standing alone. You are a fixed fire sign, which means you're not just bright, you're steady. Your strength isn't reactive, it's rooted. And when someone tries to drag you into a lower vibration, your job isn't to fight them there. It's to rise above, to hold your ground so firmly in truth that their chaos has nowhere to stick. They want to pull you down so they can feel less small. But your rise is not negotiable. Your evolution is not theirs to delay. And no matter how much they scramble in the shadows, one thing is certain: when the light gets brighter, the hidden things come into view. Their intentions can't stay masked forever. Not when the energy is this active. Not when you're this aligned. If any of this resonates with what you've been feeling lately, don't ignore it. Write it into existence. Comment below, "Truth is rising. I will not be shaken." Let that be your spiritual boundary, a declaration that you are no longer entertaining illusions. You don't need to fight fire with fire. Your calm, your clarity, and your refusal to shrink are your protection. The moment you choose not to engage in their game is the moment you reclaim your peace. Because when light shines, darkness loses its hiding place. And Leo, your light is only getting stronger. You're at a point in your journey, Leo, where clarity must meet action. Everything you've sensed so far, the shift in someone's energy, the strange timing of opportunities and red flags, the dreams, the signals, all of it has led here. This is not a time to freeze in fear or overthink every move. It's time to step into your own power and take practical, grounded steps to protect what you've been building, your peace, your energy, and your abundance. Energy protection isn't about burning sage and hoping for the best, it's about conscious responsibility. The universe has already shown you what's out of alignment. Now it's asking, will you act like someone who values their energy or let that energy leak through unguarded doors? You already know the answer. The first thing I want you to do is simple, but important: check your messages, your emails, your DMs. Not out of paranoia, but with awareness. Sometimes people slip up. They send the wrong thing. Or you'll notice the tone of a conversation shift. Look for patterns, repeated phrases, delayed replies, or someone asking more questions than usual. Often, betrayal reveals itself in small cracks before it ever explodes. Read between the lines. Next, pay attention to your dreams. Don't dismiss the strange ones, especially if they seem symbolic, repetitive, or emotionally vivid. Write them down, even if they make no sense. Often, your subconscious processes what your conscious mind is still trying to avoid. Dreams are your soul's way of organizing truth. Third, hold off on financial decisions for now, especially if they're rushed, emotionally charged, or connected to someone whose energy feels off. Even if the person is family, even if it seems urgent, pause. Nothing true will pressure you into speed. And your future security is worth more than any short-term opportunity. Your digital boundaries matter too. Change your passwords. Unlink accounts that no longer serve you. Protect your information the same way you protect your heart with discernment. You wouldn't hand your house keys to someone who betrayed your trust. Why treat your accounts any differently? And let's talk about your space, your actual living environment. Energy lingers. If someone who has ill will toward you has visited your home recently, or even just been around your possessions, their energy can stay. Open the windows. Light a candle or simply let fresh air through. Play music that lifts you. Rearrange something. Sometimes, healing comes in the form of moving the energy literally. What you say also matters. Words carry vibration. Try saying this out loud or writing it somewhere visible. I am protected. I carry light. I do not fear shadows. The truth will reveal itself, and I will remain steady. It's not just a mantra, it's a declaration. And it reminds you who you are. Your body might also be talking to you right now. Tension in your neck. Trouble sleeping. Overthinking at night. That's not random. Your nervous system holds on to what your mind tries to minimize. So take care of it. Magnesium, B vitamins, hydration, and 10 minutes of stillness every morning, even if that just means sitting quietly before your day begins. Let your breath calm your system before the world starts pulling at you. Financially, stay present. If an unexpected flow of money arrives, receive it without guilt, but also without recklessness. This is a reward for your alignment, not a shortcut. And if someone asks for help or investment, don't say yes out of emotional obligation. Say yes only when your spirit agrees, not just your heart. And in love, perhaps the hardest terrain, keep your heart open but wise. Loyalty is not proven through grand gestures, it's proven through consistency. Don't hand over your full truth to someone who hasn't yet proven they know how to hold it. Love can be generous, but it should never be careless. Above all, remember this: standing in your light doesn't require permission. It only requires alignment. When you act from a place of clarity and strength, even betrayal loses its power. You are not here to shrink, Leo. You are here to rise even when the ground beneath you feels like it's shifting. Now take the steps. You already know which ones are yours to take. Leo, if you've made it to this point in the message, then I need you to pause and take a moment, because what you're stepping into isn't just the end of a hard cycle. It's the beginning of an entirely new chapter. And it's not a small one. It's the kind of shift that changes your relationship with yourself, your money, your peace, and the people you allow into your world. Sometimes, the most painful exit is the exact thing that makes space for the biggest blessing. And right now, the blessing that's coming? It's not only spiritual. It's also very real, very tangible, and very much tied to your financial future. For weeks, months, maybe even years, you've done the work. You've shown up. You've stayed soft when the world tried to harden you. You've been the light even when others moved in the dark. And now, the universe is responding. What was held back, what was delayed, what you thought had slipped through the cracks, it's circling back. And it's not coming empty-handed. It's coming with reward. But here's the truth most people miss: that reward couldn't land until the weight of hidden betrayal was removed. That's why the exposure had to happen. That's why it hurt. That's why it's sacred. The person who betrayed you, whether they realize it or not, became a divine tool. A necessary mirror. And in pushing you, they forced you to step more deeply into your own truth. You stopped pretending. You stopped overgiving. You started asking the hard questions. And now, your energy is lighter. Your path is clearer. That's the shift the tarot saw. That's the moment the door begins to open. So let me ask you, truly, what would it feel like to no longer second-guess yourself? What would it feel like to stop explaining your worth to people who only understand conditions, not loyalty? Can you imagine what becomes possible when you stop holding space for what drains you and start choosing what actually reflects your worth? Because in the next 30 days, I promise you, masks will fall. Truth will rise. And that thing you thought was lost? That deal, that payout, that offer, that divine coincidence you stopped hoping for? It's going to show up. But it needs space. It needs your full presence. It needs your commitment to not letting the shadows of the past poison the future you've prayed for. I don't want you to forget what you've learned here. Not just the insights but the steps. You're not powerless. You never were. But now, you're also not naive. You've been initiated into a deeper level of discernment, and that will serve you not just today, but for the rest of this year. So take a breath. Anchor the wisdom. And if this message resonated with you, say it in the comments. I receive the truth. I protect my light. I welcome the blessing that's already mine. That's not a comment for me. It's a declaration to yourself. Let it echo into the energy field. Thank you for being here, for listening with an open heart, and for walking this path with courage. Every like, every share, every comment you leave is more than digital support. It's a ripple in the spiritual field that keeps the mission of this channel alive. This is eternal mindfulness, and your presence here means more than you know. Stay close, Leo. Because the next step, it's not about surviving. It's about soaring. And you're ready. Leo, if you've stayed with me until now, it means you felt something real move inside you, a shift, a confirmation, a quiet knowing. And I want to remind you, that's not coincidence. That's your higher wisdom responding. It's the light within you rising to meet the truth being revealed. Yes, betrayal hurts. Yes, it shakes the ground you thought was solid. But what if I told you this moment, this exact moment, is the doorway to your expansion? What if the person who tried to break you was never here to destroy you, but to redirect you toward your greatest clarity? Because here's what I see for you, Leo: liberation, financial release, spiritual peace, emotional renewal. The kind of freedom that only comes after you've chosen to walk through the fire and not let it burn away your light. You're not here to carry dead weight. You're not here to dim your radiance so others can feel comfortable. You're here to rise. You're here to lead. And sometimes, that rising means saying no to energy that confuses you, to people who only love you when you're small, to patterns that keep repeating because you were too kind to close the door. But now you've seen too much to go back. You felt too deeply to pretend you didn't. And that is your power. That is your turning point. So let me ask you, what would it look like for you to move forward with both power and peace? Who would you become if you trusted your inner voice over outer noise? Can you take that next step, however small, knowing that the universe is not asking for perfection, but simply your willingness? If this message touched something inside you today, leave a comment and affirm your energy shift. Write it clearly, intentionally. I walk in light. I am ready for the blessing that's already mine. I no longer fear the truth, I stand in it. My peace, my purpose, my abundance are protected. Every time you speak words like that, you create a shift in the energy around you. You reclaim space. You remind the universe, I am ready. Thank you, from my heart, for being here. For listening. For reflecting. For allowing eternal mindfulness to be a space of clarity and healing in your journey. Every like, every comment, every moment you spend with this message helps this community grow stronger. Your presence is felt and deeply appreciated. And trust me, you'll want to stay with us for what's coming next. The revelations ahead are unlike anything you've seen. So breathe deeply. Stay anchored. You are not alone. You are divinely supported. And Leo, your next chapter will be brighter than your fears. Keep walking. Keep shining. The light you've been waiting for is already inside you.